Let me go. I don't belong to you. I won't go anywhere with you people. They snatched her right from her own engagement party, declared her their collective bride, and swore they'd consume every part of her. 3 matching faces, 3 lethal vows. Gloria should have despised them with every fiber of her being. So why did her heart betray her? Beautiful souls, Happy New Year to each and every one of you. This year, I'm dedicated to bringing you stories that do more than just entertain. Stories that will make you feel absolutely everything. Tales of consuming love, ruthless men, unbreakable women, and the exquisite chaos that erupts when opposing worlds crash into each other. Thank you for showing up here. Thank you for opening your hearts to me. Let's create an unforgettable year together, you and I. Now, tell me, are you ready to dive into Gloria and the Triplet story? Smash that subscribe button and let's enter a world where 3 mafia princes stake their claim on one untouched bride. The scream died in Gloria's throat before it could fully escape. 1 second, she was standing at her engagement celebration, watching Marcus, her fiancé, share jokes with his work friends. The next second, 3 identical faces emerged from the darkness like phantoms, and Marcus was collapsing onto the marble floor, crimson spreading across his crisp white shirt like some horrific art piece. Stop right there. The command came from the man positioned in the middle, his hand still gripping the weapon that had just shattered her future. His voice moved like silk draped over steel, his features sculpted with the kind of devastating beauty that belonged in galleries, not in her nightmares. Don't scream. Don't try to run. Don't complicate this more than necessary. Gloria's body refused to obey her mind's command to flee. All around her, the celebration dissolved into pandemonium. Guests scrambling over each other, voices raised in terror, people rushing toward exits. But she remained frozen in place, locked onto the 3 men who appeared as if the same divine hand had carved them from violence itself. Korean blood ran through their veins, their bone structure could make angels weep. Designer suits draped their frames worth more money than she earned in 12 months, and their eyes, all 6 of them, burned into her with an intensity that set her skin ablaze. You're leaving with us. The brother on the left spoke now, his voice carrying the same timbre as his siblings, yet somehow heavier with menace. He approached her with the fluid grace of a hunting predator. Marcus. Her voice finally broke free, fractured and desperate. She dropped beside her fiancé's body, her pure white engagement gown soaking up his blood like a sponge. Marcus, please, stay with me. He's not dead. The 3rd brother, stationed on the right, spoke with an almost bored detachment. Not yet, anyway. Whether he remains breathing depends entirely on your cooperation, Gloria. Her head whipped up toward them. How could you possibly know my name? We know absolutely everything about you. The center brother, clearly the one in command, crouched down to meet her eye level. From this proximity, his beauty became even more devastating. Razor-sharp jawline, perfectly shaped lips, eyes so dark they appeared to swallow light in the dim atmosphere. Gloria Okafor, 26 years old, registered nurse at Seoul Metropolitan Hospital. Relocated here from Lagos 3 years back. Engaged to Marcus Chin for precisely 4 months. He angled his head slightly. Should I keep going? Pure terror crawled up her windpipe. What could you possibly want from me? You. All 3 brothers spoke the single word simultaneously, the sound reverberating through the now deserted ballroom like a death knell. The leader rose to his full height, extending his palm toward her. My name is Dae. These are my brothers, Jae and Tae. Triplets, which you've obviously noticed, and starting tonight, you are our property. I'm not anyone's property. She slapped his offered hand away, adrenaline finally overpowering her fear. I don't care who you think you are, but... The Huang brothers, Jae, the one positioned left, extracted his phone, displaying a news article for her to see. Seoul's most lethal crime syndicate, international warrants in 7 nations. Estimated net worth approximately $4 billion. His smile transformed his face into something both beautiful and nightmarish. Does that ring any bells? Ice water flooded her circulatory system. She'd heard the whispered stories. Everyone living in Seoul had heard about the triplet mafia overlords who controlled everything from behind veils of secrecy. Narcotics, firearms, government officials, law enforcement, they possessed it all. And they existed completely, utterly beyond the reach of justice. Why would you choose me? Her voice fractured like glass. I'm nobody of consequence. Just a nurse. I don't possess wealth. I don't have powerful connections. I don't have anything you could want. You preserved our father's life. Tae spoke for the first time, his voice carrying less volume than his brother's, though no less danger threaded through it. 2 months back, emergency department, bullet wound. You controlled the hemorrhaging, maintained his stability, asked no questions whatsoever. He advanced closer to her position. Do you have any memory of that night? She remembered. The distinguished older Korean gentleman, dignified despite the blood coating him, who gazed at her with eyes identical to theirs, who gripped her hand tightly and spoke words in Korean she couldn't comprehend, who had security personnel in expensive suits that made warning signals crawl across her skin. He could have died that night. Day continued speaking. Should have died, truthfully, but you with your capable hands and your compassionate heart, you rescued him. He reached forward, trailing a single finger down the curve of her cheek. She flinched away. And our father believes deeply in settling debts. So this represents payment? Bitterness sliced through her terror. Kidnapping me? Shooting the man I was supposed to marry? Marcus stopped being your fiancé the moment our father decided you'd make an acceptable bride. Jay's voice dropped several degrees colder. He ceased being anything to you at all. The entire world seemed to tilt sideways. Bride? For all 3 of us. Tae said it with such casual ease, as if discussing something as mundane as the weather forecast. It's traditional in our family structure. The heir and his brothers share absolutely everything. Power, fortune, adversaries. His eyes traveled the length of her body slowly. Wives. You're completely insane. She scrambled to her feet, backing away from them. All 3 of you. I'm not marrying a single person here. I'm not going to just. Day moved with supernatural speed, his hand encircling her throat, not applying pressure to choke, simply holding, simply reminding her precisely how fragile she remained compared to them. You will marry us tomorrow in a ceremony our father has already orchestrated. His thumb pressed against the rapid flutter of her pulse point. And then, sweet Gloria, we will consummate that marriage. All 3 of us, every single inch of you learning precisely who owns you now. Tears burned behind her eyes, threatening to fall. Please, I'm begging you. Already begging. Jay materialized at her opposite side, his palm sliding down the length of her arm. We haven't even truly begun yet, beautiful. Let Marcus go free. She forced the words past the hand at her throat. Please, I'm asking you. He has absolutely nothing to do with whatever this is. Just let him walk away. Marcus has been selling detailed information about you to our enemies. Tae's voice sliced through her desperate plea like a blade through silk. Photographs of you, medical documentation, your complete schedule. He's been collaborating with the Choi Syndicate for 2 months, using you as bait to reach us. The betrayal struck harder than any physical violence could. No, that's impossible. He would never do that to me. Check his phone. Day released her throat, nodding toward Jay. His brother retrieved Marcus's mobile device from his pocket, unlocked it using Marcus's thumbprint while he lay unconscious, and held the screen up for her inspection. Messages, hundreds upon hundreds of them. Marcus discussing her in clinical detail, describing her most intimate moments, sharing private information about their relationship with people Gloria had never encountered. Planning to exploit their wedding as an opportunity to install surveillance equipment targeting the Huang family. Trading her safety for cash payments. Her legs simply gave out beneath her. Tay caught her before she collided with the ground, his arms surprisingly gentle as they supported her weight. "Breathe," he murmured directly against her ear. "Just focus on breathing. Everything I believed was real is actually a lie." The words emerged broken into pieces. "My fiancé, my entire life, everything I thought I knew." "No." Day crouched before her again, his presence overwhelming. "Everything you believed you knew was a cage disguised as freedom. We're simply revealing the bars to you." He gripped her chin, forcing her gaze to meet his. "But here's the absolute truth, Gloria. You can remain in that cage and watch everyone you care about die because of Marcus's stupidity. Or you can step into our cage and watch everyone who ever threatened you burn to ashes. That's not actually a choice you're offering me." "No." His smile sharpened like broken glass edges. "It's a gift we're giving you. The gift of knowing exactly where you stand, exactly who possesses you, exactly what your life is worth to different people." He leaned even closer to her face. "To us, you're absolutely priceless. To them, you were always just a playing piece to be sacrificed." Jay's fingers tangled in her hair, tilting her head back firmly. "So, what's your decision going to be, beautiful? A death dressed in white fabric pretending to be love, or a life wearing our rings and knowing precisely what you're worth to us?" Gloria looked at Marcus, unconscious and bleeding on cold marble. Looked at the three men surrounding her completely, devastatingly beautiful and deadly serious. Felt the crushing weight of a choice that wasn't truly a choice at all pressing down on her chest until drawing breath became difficult. "If I agree to this," her voice emerged barely above a whisper, "what happens to Marcus?" "He lives." Tay's answer came immediately, without hesitation. "In a prison cell, certainly, but he continues breathing." "And if I refuse your offer?" Day's smile widened across his face. "Then we systematically eliminate everyone you've ever loved, burn down everything you've ever cared about, and take you anyway regardless." He stroked her cheek with almost tender gentleness. "But at least this way, you get to maintain the illusion you had a choice in the matter." The tears fell then, scalding hot and bitter on her tongue. "I'll do it." The words tasted like ash and blood in her mouth. "I'll marry all three of you, just please let him live." The transformation in them was immediate and terrifying to witness. Day's smile turned predatory. Jay's grip in her hair tightened possessively, and Tay, quiet, gentle Tay, pressed his lips to the shell of her ear and whispered in a voice like dark velvet, "Good girl." "Up." Day commanded, and she found herself pulled to her feet, completely surrounded by their heat, their masculine scent, their overwhelming presence pressing in from all sides. "We're leaving now. Immediately." "Now? But I need to at least." She gestured helplessly at herself, at the blood-soaked dress, at the wreckage of her entire life scattered across the marble floor like debris. "You need absolutely nothing." Jay's voice was absolute and firm. "Everything you were ends tonight in this ballroom. Everything you will become starts the moment you step inside our vehicle." They moved as one synchronized unit, the three of them forming a protective barrier around her as they walked through the carnage of the celebration. Bodies had been efficiently removed. Blood was already being cleaned by men dressed entirely in black who appeared from nowhere. The clinical efficiency was horrifying to observe. Outside, a black limousine waited at the curb, sleek and expensive and somehow menacing in the soul night. Tay opened the door, gesturing her inside with a mockery of gentlemanly courtesy. The interior was entirely black leather and tinted windows that turned the outside world into shadows. She sank into the seat, her ruined dress spreading around her like spilled milk across dark fabric. Day slid in beside her, close enough that his thigh pressed firmly against hers. Jay claimed her opposite side, and Tay positioned himself across from them, his eyes never once leaving her face. The door sealed shut. The world outside disappeared completely. And Gloria realized with sudden terrible clarity that she was trapped in an extremely small space with 3 apex predators who looked at her like she was their next meal. Let's establish some ground rules right now. Day's hand landed on her bare knee. She jumped at the contact. His smile widened. Rule number 1. You don't lie to us ever about anything whatsoever. We'll know when you do, and you won't enjoy the consequences. Rule number 2, Jay continued, his fingers tracing abstract patterns on her shoulder, making involuntary shivers run through her. You don't run from us. Not physically, not emotionally. You're our property now, and we protect what belongs to us. Rule number 3. Tay leaned forward, his elbows resting on his knees, his face mere inches from hers. You trust us even when it's difficult. Even when you're frightened. Especially when you're frightened. And what about my rules? The defiance emerged from somewhere deep inside, some part of her that refused to break completely. All 3 of them went completely still. Then laughter erupted from them, rich and warm and genuinely amused. Our little bride has claws hidden. Day's hand slid higher on her thigh. I like that spirit. Speak then. What are your rules, Gloria? Her heart hammered against her ribcage. You don't hurt me. Not genuinely. Not in ways that leave permanent scars. Agreed. Jay's voice came immediately. We're not those types of men. We're violent, yes. Dangerous, absolutely. But we don't damage what belongs to us. You let me continue working at the hospital. I need purpose in my life. I need something beyond just. No. Tay's single word cut through her request like a blade. Too dangerous for you. Our enemies would exploit it against us. Against you specifically. Then I need something else to do. Desperation crept into her voice like water. I can't just exist as a possession. I can't just sit in some mansion and wait for you to. You'll manage our legitimate business operations. Day interrupted her smoothly. Medical equipment imports, pharmaceutical investment portfolios, hospital funding initiatives. You're a nurse. You understand the industry better than most. You'll be perfect for the role. He leaned closer, his breath hot against her neck. And when you're not working, you'll be with us, learning us, letting us learn every secret your body holds. Heat flooded her face like a wave. I'm not. I haven't ever. You're a virgin. Tay said it like he already possessed this knowledge. Like they had researched every intimate detail of her existence. Marcus never touched you beyond kissing. Humiliation burned through her like fire. How could you possibly know that about me? We told you already. Jay cut in, his hand cupping her face, forcing her to look directly at him. We know everything about you, Gloria. Your medical records, your browser history, your diary entries on that app you think is private. His thumb brushed across her lower lip. We know you touch yourself thinking about things you're ashamed to want. We know you dream about being dominated, owned, completely consumed by someone stronger than you are. Stop talking. Tears pricked her eyes like needles. Please just stop. Why should we stop? Day's lips touched her shoulder, making her gasp. Why stop when we're finally being completely honest? You wanted passion, Gloria. You wanted to feel truly alive. Marcus was safe, boring, a placeholder for what you really craved deep down. His teeth grazed her skin. Say what you really crave. Admit it out loud. I don't even know who you are. But her body betrayed her completely, arching slightly into his touch. You will know us. Jay tilted her face toward him, his eyes burning into hers like coals. By tomorrow night, you'll know exactly how our hands feel on every inch of your skin. You'll know the taste of each of us individually. You'll know which one of us makes you scream the loudest. All 3 of you? The question came out breathless. At once? Eventually. Tay's voice was dark velvet wrapping around her. We'll start slow, let you adjust to us, but yes, Gloria. Eventually, we'll take you together. Fill every part of you until you can't distinguish where we end and you begin. The limousine came to a stop. Gloria looked through the window and saw a mansion that resembled a fortress more than a home. High walls, armed security guards, cameras positioned everywhere. A beautiful prison. Welcome home. Day opened the door, stepping out and extending his hand toward her. Your new life starts right now. She took his hand because no alternative existed. Let him pull her out into the cold night air. Stared up at the massive structure that would become her cage. Scared? Jay appeared at her opposite side. Terrified, she admitted honestly. Good. Tay took her other hand, his fingers lacing through hers with surprising gentleness. Fear keeps you alive in our world. Fear makes you careful and smart. He raised her hand to his lips, kissing her knuckles softly. But pleasure, sweet Gloria, pleasure is what makes you truly ours. They led her inside through marble halls decorated with art that probably cost more than entire buildings. Servants bowed as they passed, their eyes carefully averted from the scene. The opulence was suffocating. Your room. Day pushed open double doors, revealing a suite larger than her entire apartment back in her old life. Tonight you sleep alone. Tomorrow, after the wedding ceremony, you'll move into our room. Your room? Her voice cracked. You all share a single room? We share everything. Jay finished her thought. We always have since birth. It's how we survive in this world. Complete unity, complete trust, complete possession of everything that matters to us. His eyes raked over her slowly. And you, beautiful, you matter more than you can possibly imagine right now. Why me though? The question burst out of her. Why choose me specifically? There are thousands of women in Seoul who would want this life you're offering. Because you're fundamentally different. Tay moved closer, backing her against the door frame. You saw our father bleeding on your emergency room floor, and you didn't see his money or his power or his connections. You saw a human being who needed help desperately. His hand cupped her cheek gently. In our world, that kind of genuine compassion is rarer than diamonds. More valuable than gold itself. So you're collecting me? Bitterness leaked through her words. Like some exotic pet? No. Day's voice turned hard as iron. We're claiming you. There's a significant difference. He gripped her chin, forcing her eyes to his. A pet is powerless. You, Gloria, you'll have more power than you've ever dreamed of possessing. Our name, our protection, our resources. The only price is your submission. To all three of you. To all three of us, Jay confirmed. In every way that matters. A woman appeared in the doorway then, older, Korean, her face kind but professional in demeanor. I'll help Miss Okafor prepare for tomorrow. Mrs. Kim will take care of you tonight. Day stepped back, though his eyes never left her face. Tomorrow morning you'll be fitted for your wedding dress. Tomorrow afternoon you'll become ours legally. Tomorrow night, his smile was pure sin. Tomorrow night will make you ours in every other way imaginable. They left her standing there, trembling and confused and terrified, and something else, something that felt dangerously close to anticipation building in her core. Mrs. Kim guided her inside, closing the doors softly behind them. Come, child, let's get you cleaned up properly. Tomorrow is a very significant day. Gloria looked down at her blood-stained engagement dress. At the diamond ring Marcus had given her, now feeling like a shackle around her finger. She pulled it off, letting it drop to the marble floor where it bounced once, twice, then rolled away into darkness and disappeared. Tomorrow, she whispered to her reflection in the massive mirror. Everything changes. But as she stood there alone, she felt phantom touches on her skin. Remembered the heat of their hands, the intensity of their eyes, the dark promises in their voices, and deep in her core, something awakened, something dangerous, something that whispered maybe, just maybe, she didn't want to fight this as much as she should. Want to know what happens on Gloria's wedding night? Kindly hit the subscribe button right now, because the next part will absolutely leave you breathless. The triplets have plans for their innocent bride, and trust me, you don't want to miss a single moment of what comes next. Sleep never came for Gloria that night. She lay in silk sheets that cost more than her monthly rent, staring at the ceiling, listening to the fortress breathe around her. Guards changing shifts, distant voices echoing, the hum of security systems monitoring every corner of her new prison. At dawn, Mrs. Kim arrived with tea and sympathy in her weathered eyes. "Drink, child. You'll need your strength today. How can you work for them?" Gloria's voice was raw from unshed tears she'd fought all night. "Knowing what they do, what they are, what they're capable of." Mrs. Kim's smile was sad and knowing. "The Huang brothers are many things, child. Dangerous, yes. Ruthless, absolutely true, but to those they claim as family." She poured the tea with steady, practiced hands. "They're loyal unto death itself. Your fiancé betrayed you for money. They will burn the entire world down before they let anyone hurt you. They're forcing me into marriage." "Are they truly?" The older woman's eyes were knowing and sharp. "Or are they offering you a choice you're afraid to want?" Before Gloria could formulate an answer, the doors opened. 3 women entered carrying garment bags and makeup cases, behind them rolling a full-length mirror on wheels. "Time to make you a bride." Mrs. Kim's voice was gentle but absolutely firm. The dress they pulled from the bag stole her breath completely. White silk that seemed to glow with its own light, cut to hug every curve before flowing to the floor like water. The back was completely open, dipping dangerously low down her spine. The neckline plunged between her breasts. It was simultaneously innocent and sinful. "I can't wear that. It's far too revealing for a wedding." "It's perfect." Jay's voice came from the doorway, making her spin around. Gloria whirled, clutching the dress to her chest protectively. He leaned against the frame, dressed in a black suit that made him look like sin given human form. "It's absolutely perfect, just like you'll be wearing it. You're not supposed to see the bride before the wedding ceremony." The protest was automatic, ingrained. "Traditional rules don't apply to us." He moved into the room with that predatory grace all 3 brothers shared naturally. "We make our own rules, remember?" His eyes traveled over her nightgown, and she felt exposed despite being covered. "Let me see it on you. Get out of here. I'm not dressing in front of you. You'll be completely naked in front of all 3 of us tonight." His voice dropped lower, more intimate. "Might as well start getting comfortable now." Heat flooded her face. "That's different." "Is it really?" He circled her slowly like a shark. "Either way, we'll see everything. Touch everything. Own everything that belongs to us." He stopped behind her, his breath hot against her neck. "The only difference is whether you fight it or surrender to it." "I don't surrender to anyone." "Liar." His fingers traced her spine through the thin silk of her nightgown. She shivered involuntarily. "Your body already knows what your mind refuses to accept. You want this. Want us. I hate you." But the words came out breathless, completely unconvincing. "Hate and desire aren't opposites, sweet Gloria." His lips brushed her ear. "They're dance partners, and by tonight you'll know every step of their dance intimately." He moved away, leaving her cold and confused. "Get dressed. The ceremony starts in 2 hours." He left, and Gloria sagged against Mrs. Kim's supporting arm. "He's right, you know." The older woman guided her toward the bathroom. "About your body knowing. I've seen many brides enter this family over the years. The ones who fight their desire suffer most. The ones who embrace it." Her smile was almost wistful. "They become queens." The next 2 hours passed in a blur of intense preparation. Hair pinned up to show her long, elegant neck. Makeup that made her dark skin glow like polished bronze. Diamond earrings that probably cost more than a luxury car. And finally, the dress sliding over her curves like water, like sin, like a second skin designed specifically to drive men to madness. When she looked in the mirror, she barely recognized the woman staring back. The woman reflected there was beautiful, powerful, dangerous, not a nurse from Lagos, not a victim, something else entirely. "They're going to devour you." Mrs. Kim's voice held approval. "And you're going to let them." 2 guards escorted her through the mansion, down marble stairs, through corridors lined with flowers, white and red, innocent and passionate, to massive doors that opened onto a private garden where 50 guests waited in expensive silence. The Huang family empire, all gathered to witness the triplets claim their bride. And at the end of the aisle, under an arch covered in moonflowers, stood Day, Jay, and Tay. 3 identical gods in black suits, their eyes locked on her with an intensity that made her stumble mid-step. The music started. Traditional Korean instruments mixing with something distinctly African. Something that spoke of 2 worlds colliding violently. Her worlds colliding. She walked alone. No father to give her away. No friends to support her. Just her and the choice that wasn't really a choice, carrying her toward 3 men who looked at her like she was oxygen and they were drowning. When she reached them, Day took her hand. His palm was warm, slightly rough from violence. His thumb stroked her racing pulse gently. "Breathe," he murmured. "Just breathe, beautiful." The officiant spoke in Korean. She understood none of it, but it didn't matter at all. The words were just ceremony, tradition. The truth was in the way Jay's hand settled on her lower back, possessive and sure. In the way Tay's fingers laced with hers, grounding her. In the way all 3 of them surrounded her, claimed her, marked her as theirs before witnesses and whatever gods were watching. "Do you accept these men as your husbands?" The officiant switched to English for her benefit. "To honor and obey in this life and beyond?" The garden went silent, every eye on her, every breath held in anticipation. She thought of Marcus bleeding on marble. Thought of the cage her old life had been without her knowing. Thought of the terrifying freedom of being owned by men powerful enough to destroy her or raise her up as a queen. "I do." The words were steady, clear, irrevocable. The brothers exhaled as one synchronized unit. And then Day was tilting her face up, his eyes burning into hers with barely contained hunger. "Mine," he whispered against her lips before kissing her deep, possessive, claiming. His tongue swept into her mouth, tasting her, owning her first kiss as a married woman. When he pulled back, Jay turned her toward him roughly. "Mine," he growled, and his kiss was harder, more demanding than his brother's. His teeth caught her lower lip, making her gasp. Then Tay, gentle Tay, cupped her face with both hands tenderly. "Ours," he breathed, and kissed her soft and deep and so achingly sweet it made her chest physically ache. The garden erupted in applause, but Gloria barely heard it over the thundering of her heart, the heat flooding her body. The terrifying realization that she'd just married 3 men who looked at her like she was simultaneously their salvation and their damnation. The reception was a blur of sensations. Rich food she couldn't taste, expensive wine that burned her throat, congratulations from people who probably murdered before breakfast routinely. And through it all, the brothers never left her side for a moment. Always touching her somewhere. A hand on her waist, her shoulder, her thigh under the table where no one could see. "Nervous?" Tay asked as the sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of blood orange. "Terrified," she admitted. "The guests are leaving soon." Jay's hand tightened on her thigh possessively. "And then we'll take you upstairs to our room." "All 3 of you?" Her voice shook. "At the same time? Did you think we were joking?" Day leaned close, his lips brushing her ear. "We're going to strip that beautiful dress off your body slowly. Lay you out on our bed, and then, sweet Gloria, we're going to map every inch of your innocent skin with our hands and our mouths until you forget your own name." "Stop." She pressed her hand to his chest, feeling his heart race as fast as hers. "Please, I need a moment to prepare myself." "You need us," Jay corrected firmly. "Your body knows it, even if your mind is still fighting." His hand slid higher, dangerously high. "Feel that? The way you're trembling right now? That's not fear, beautiful. That's anticipation. I'm a virgin." The admission came out broken, vulnerable. "I don't know how to, with 3 of you at once." "I can't." "You can." Tay's voice was soothing, but his eyes burned with hunger. We'll teach you everything. Show you exactly how to take us, please us. Let us worship every part of you. The last guest departed. The garden emptied. Suddenly, it was just the four of them and the dying light and the promise of what came next hanging heavy in the air. Day stood, extending his hand toward her. Come, wife. It's time. Gloria's hand trembled as she reached for his. This was it. The moment everything changed forever. The moment she stopped being Gloria Okafor, independent nurse, and became something else entirely. Their woman, their possession, their bride in every way that mattered. Subscribe now because what happens next behind closed doors will change Gloria forever. The triplets have been patient, gentle, restrained up until now. But tonight, that restraint ends completely. Stay glued, don't miss the moment three dangerous men show their innocent wife exactly what it means to belong to them. The bedroom was a cathedral dedicated to sin. Massive bed draped in black silk, candles casting shadows that danced across walls like living things, floor-to-ceiling windows showing soul glittering below like fallen stars scattered across darkness. And in the center of it all, Gloria stood trembling while three pairs of eyes devoured her. So incredibly beautiful. Day circled her slowly, a predator admiring prey before the kill. And completely ours. I don't know what to do. Her voice was barely a whisper. You don't have to know anything. Jay moved behind her, his hands settling on her shoulders. Just feel. His fingers found the zipper of her wedding dress. The sound of it lowering cut through the silence like a knife through silk. Cool air kissed her spine as he peeled the fabric away inch by torturous inch. Wait. She grabbed the front of the dress, holding it to her chest desperately. Can we just talk first? Get to know each other before we do anything else? We've known you for months. Tay's voice came from in front of her. Watched you, studied you, learned you. Now it's your turn to learn us. He stepped closer, his hand covering hers where she clutched the dress. Let go, Gloria. I'm scared. Good. Day's breath was hot against her neck. Fear makes everything sharper, more intense. Makes you feel more. His lips traced her shoulder. Let us show you what your body was made for. Jay's hands slid down her arms, gentle but inexorable. Trust us. We'll take care of you. Her fingers loosened their death grip. The dress whispered to the floor, pooling at her feet in a wave of white silk. She stood in only white lace lingerie, her dark skin glowing in the candlelight like polished bronze. Perfect. Tay's eyes darkened with raw hunger. You're absolutely perfect. She tried to cover herself instinctively. Jay caught her wrists, pulling her arms away from her body. No hiding from us. We want to see all of you. Please, this is too much, too fast, I can't. Shh. Day turned her to face him, his hands cupping her face with surprising gentleness. We'll go slow, but we're not stopping. Not tonight. His thumb brushed her trembling lip. Kiss me. What? Kiss me like you mean it. Like you want this. I don't want this. Liar. His mouth captured hers, cutting off her protest. This kiss was different from the ceremony, deeper, hotter, his tongue sliding against hers in a rhythm that made heat pool low in her belly. When he pulled back, she was breathless and dizzy. See? Your body knows exactly what it wants. Jay turned her toward him. My turn. His kiss was demanding, aggressive, his teeth nipping at her lips until she gasped and he swept inside, tasting her thoroughly, possessively. Then Tay, spinning her gently, his kiss soft and deep and so achingly sweet it made her want to cry. There she is, he murmured against her mouth. There's our girl, finally starting to surrender. I'm not surrendering. But the protest was weak, unconvincing even to her own ears. No? Day's hand slid down her spine, unclasping her bra with practiced ease. It fell away and she gasped, trying to cover herself again. 3 sets of hands stopped her. Don't. Jay's voice was rough. Let us look at you. They arranged her on the bed, gentle but firm, positioning her in the center of that ocean of black silk. 3 men surrounding her, still fully dressed while she lay exposed, vulnerable, trembling with fear and something else she couldn't name. Please. She didn't even know what she was begging for anymore. Will please you. Day knelt on the bed, his hand trailing up her leg. Will please you until you forget every other man who ever existed. Jay took her hand, pressing it against the hard evidence of his desire through his suit pants. Feel what you do to us? We've been hard since the moment you walked down that aisle toward us. Heat flooded her face. I don't know how to. We know. Tay's hand cupped her breast, his thumb circling her nipple until it peaked. That's what makes this perfect. We get to teach you everything. Show you exactly how to take pleasure and give it. It's too much. Tears pricked her eyes. 3 of you, I can't. Your body can. Day's hand slid higher, fingers tracing the edge of her panties. Your body was made for this. Made for us. How do you know? Because you're trembling. Jay leaned down, his lips brushing her neck. But not pulling away. Because your skin is flushed all over. His teeth grazed her pulse point. Because your pupils are blown wide with desire, not just fear. Because you're wet. Day's fingers pressed against her through the lace, making her gasp. Already soaking through these pretty panties, aren't you? Shame burned through her. Don't say that. Don't what? Don't tell the truth? His fingers rubbed slow circles that made her hips jerk involuntarily. Your body doesn't lie, Gloria. It knows what it needs even when you don't. Tay captured her mouth in another kiss while his hands explored her breasts, learning their weight, their sensitivity, the exact pressure that made her moan into his mouth. She was drowning in sensation, in heat, in the overwhelming presence of 3 men touching her, claiming her, breaking down every defense she'd ever built. Stop thinking. Jay's command cut through her spiraling thoughts. Just feel what we're doing to you. Day hooked his fingers in her panties, sliding them down slowly. She tried to close her legs. He'd sked softly. No hiding, remember? I'm embarrassed. Don't be. He spread her thighs gently but firmly. You're beautiful. Every part of you. His fingers traced through her wetness, making her gasp. Especially here. You shouldn't. We're your husbands. Tay reminded her, his hands still working her breasts, building an ache she'd never felt before. There's nothing we shouldn't do to you. Day's finger circled her entrance, teasing. So tight. So innocent. He pressed inside slowly, just one finger, and she cried out at the intrusion. Relax. Let me in. It feels strange. It feels good. He moved his fingers slowly, watching her face. Doesn't it? Be honest with me. It did. God help her, it did. The stretch, the fullness, the way he curved his finger and found a spot that made electricity shoot through her entire body. There it is. His smile was wicked. Found it. Jay stripped off his jacket, his shirt, revealing a body carved from muscle and violence. Tattoos covered his chest, dragons and symbols she didn't understand. Watch me, he commanded. She couldn't look away as he unbuckled his belt, the sound obscenely loud in the quiet room. As he pushed his pants down, freeing himself. She'd never seen a man naked before, never seen that part of male anatomy except in textbooks. And the reality was so much more intimidating than drawings. Don't be scared. He wrapped his hand around himself, stroking slowly. You'll take all of me eventually. You're too big. Panic crept in. All of you are. There's no way. We'll make it fit. Tay promised, stripping off his own clothes. His body was identical to Jay's, perfect and terrifying. Every inch, sweet Gloria. We'll fit every inch into your innocent body, just like we promised. Day added another finger, stretching her, preparing her. The sensation was overwhelming. Too much, not enough, pleasure edging into pain and back again. Please. She didn't know what she was begging for anymore. Please. Please what? All 3 voices asked in unison. I don't know. I just need, she gasped. You need us. Day withdrew his fingers, making her whimper at the loss. And we're going to give you exactly what you need. They positioned themselves around her. Day between her thighs, Jay at her side, Tay capturing her hands, pinning them gently above her head. Last chance. Day's voice was strained with control. Tell us to stop, and we will. We'll wait, give you time. She looked at him. At the hunger in his eyes. At Jay and Tay, equally desperate. At the three men who'd stolen her life and promised to give her a better one. Don't stop. The words came from somewhere deep inside her. Don't you dare stop. His smile was pure triumph. Good girl. Want to know what happens when Gloria finally surrenders completely? When three dangerous men claim their innocent bride in the most intimate way possible. Hit subscribe now, because what comes next will leave you absolutely breathless. Day positioned himself between her trembling thighs, his body a wall of muscle and heat hovering over her. Look at me, he commanded softly. I want to see your eyes when I make you mine. Gloria's breath came in short gasps. It's going to hurt, isn't it? At first. His honesty was brutal and somehow comforting. But we'll make it good. I promise you, Gloria, we'll make it so good you'll forget the pain. Jay's hand stroked her hair, his lips brushing her temple. Breathe through it. Focus on me if it gets too much. Tay still held her wrists above her head, his grip firm but gentle. We've got you. You're safe. Always safe with us. She felt Day press against her entrance, hard and hot and impossibly large. Panic flared. Wait, I'm not ready. I can't do this. You can. He pushed forward slowly, just the tip reaching her. The burn made her cry out. Breathe, beautiful. Just breathe. It's too much. Tears streaked down her temples. It's not enough. He pushed deeper, inch by excruciating inch. Not nearly enough. The stretch was overwhelming. Her body fought the intrusion, clenching, resisting. But he was relentless, gentle but unstoppable, claiming territory that had never been touched. Please. She didn't know if she was begging him to stop or continue. Almost there. His voice was strained, his control barely held. Just a little more, sweet girl. Take a little more for me. Jay's mouth found her breast, his tongue circling her nipple, creating pleasure to balance the pain. Tay kissed her deeply, swallowing her whimpers. And then Day was fully seated inside her, buried to the hilt, and she felt impossibly full, stretched beyond what she thought possible. There. He held perfectly still, trembling with effort. All of me. Every inch, just like we promised. She couldn't speak, could barely breathe. The fullness was overwhelming. The intimacy of having another person inside her body almost too much to process. How does it feel? Jay's voice was rough with desire. Perfect. Day's eyes burned into hers. Tight and hot and absolutely perfect. He brushed a tear from her cheek. The pain will fade. Trust me. He started to move. Slow withdrawals and gentle thrusts that made her gasp. The burn gradually transformed into something else. Something that built low in her belly like coals catching fire. That's it. He watched her face, reading every micro-expression. There she is. Starting to feel good now, isn't it? Words failed as he angled his hips, hitting that spot his fingers had found earlier. Pleasure shot through her like lightning. Found it. His smile was wicked. He thrust again, same angle, same spot. She cried out, her back arching off the bed. Beautiful. Tay murmured against her mouth. You're so beautiful when pleasure breaks you open. Day's pace increased, still controlled but harder now, deeper. The sound of their bodies joining filled the room, obscene and intimate. Gloria's face burned with embarrassment. Don't be shy. Jay's hand slid down her body, finding where she and Day were joined. His fingers circled her most sensitive spot, and she nearly came off the bed. We love hearing what we do to you. The dual sensation of Day inside her and Jay's fingers working her was too much. Pressure built in her core, winding tighter and tighter until she thought she might shatter. "Let go," Day commanded, his thrusts becoming urgent. "Come for me, Gloria. Let me feel you fall apart." "I don't know how." The confession came out broken. "Your body knows." Jay's fingers moved faster. "Stop thinking and just feel." The pressure peaked, crested, and then she was falling, screaming, her body convulsing around Day as pleasure consumed her completely. She'd never felt anything like it. Never knew her body could feel this good, this alive, this utterly possessed. Day groaned, his control shattering. He thrust deep one final time, and she felt him pulse inside her, claiming her in the most primal way possible. He collapsed beside her, breathing hard, his hand gentle on her face. "Mine," he whispered. "Finally mine." She couldn't respond. Could only lie there trembling, trying to process what just happened. "My turn." Jay's voice cut through her daze. Her eyes flew open. "What?" "No, I can't possibly." "You can." He positioned himself between her thighs where Day had just been. "All of us remember? But I'm sore. I need time too. We'll be gentle." He pressed inside her, and the slide was easier this time. Her body already stretched, already slick with her pleasure and Day's release. "See? Your body was made for this. Made to take all three of us." The feeling of being filled again so soon after was intense. Different. Jay was slightly thicker, the stretch almost painful, but not quite. "Relax." Tay's hands massaged her breasts, keeping pleasure humming through her. "Let him in." Jay didn't wait for her to adjust. He started moving immediately, harder than Day, more aggressive. Each thrust pushed her up the bed until Tay braced her shoulders, holding her in place. "Take it." Jay's voice was rough. "Take everything I give you." She whimpered, overwhelmed by sensation, by the feeling of being used, claimed, possessed by men who knew exactly what they wanted and took it without apology. "Too much. It's too much." He didn't slow down. "Tell me to stop if it's too much." It was, and it wasn't. The line between pleasure and pain blurred until she couldn't tell which was which. Until all she knew was sensation and heat and the desperate need for release building again. "That's our girl." Tay's mouth claimed hers in a bruising kiss. "Taking Jay so well. Being so good for us." The praise shouldn't have affected her, but it did. Made something warm bloom in her chest even as Jay's relentless pace drove her toward another peak. "Come again." Jay's command was absolute. "Show me how good I make you feel." "I can't." Not again so soon. But her body betrayed her, pleasure cresting higher than before. When it broke, she screamed into Tay's mouth, her body clamping down on Jay like a vice. He cursed, his rhythm faltering. "So tight. God, you're so tight when you come." 2 more brutal thrusts and he followed her over, groaning her name like a prayer. He pulled out slowly, and she felt the evidence of both brothers sliding down her thighs. The intimacy of it made her face burn with embarrassment. "Embarrassed?" Tay asked, reading her expression perfectly. It's so intimate." He smiled, finally releasing her wrists. "It's supposed to be. That's the entire point." He kissed her softly. "And now it's my turn to show you exactly how intimate we can get. Please." She was exhausted, overwhelmed, her body trembling with aftershocks. "I can't take any more." "You can." He positioned himself, pressing against her oversensitive entrance. "You will." He pushed inside in one slow, inexorable thrust. "Because you're ours, Gloria. And we're not done with you yet." Tay's pace was different from his brother's. Slow, deep, almost gentle, but no less devastating. Each thrust deliberate, purposeful, designed to drive her slowly out of her mind. "Please." She didn't know what she was begging for anymore. "Please what?" His eyes locked on hers. "Please stop? Please continue? Please make you come again even though you think you can't?" "I don't know." Tears leaked from her eyes. I feel so much. Good." His hand cupped her face tenderly. Feel it all. Feel us claiming you. Feel yourself becoming ours completely. His thrusts deepened, angled perfectly to hit that spot inside her that made stars explode behind her eyes. She was too sensitive, too raw. Surely she couldn't possibly. That's 3. Day's voice came from beside her. 3 times you've come for us tonight. Let's make it 4. I can't. But even as she said it, pressure built again. Impossible and inevitable. You can. Jay's hand found her breast, pinching her nipple just hard enough to ride the edge of pain. You will. Tay's pace increased, still controlled but urgent now. Come for me, Gloria. Let me feel it. The pleasure that tore through her was different this time. Deeper, more intense, almost painful in its intensity. She screamed, her body arching off the bed, every muscle locking as wave after wave crashed over her. Tay followed immediately, his groan low and guttural as he spilled inside her, adding to what his brothers had already left. When he finally withdrew, Gloria lay limp and trembling, barely conscious. Her body felt used, claimed, utterly possessed. She was sticky with sweat and other things, her thighs aching, her core tender. Perfect. Day's voice was soft with satisfaction. You are absolutely perfect. They moved around her then, gentle now, cleaning her with warm cloths, murmuring praise, surrounding her with their bodies as exhaustion dragged her under. Sleep, beautiful. Tay's lips brushed her forehead. We've got you. This was just the beginning. Jay's warning was clear, even through her exhaustion. Tomorrow, we start teaching you everything else. She wanted to protest, wanted to tell them she couldn't possibly survive more. But sleep claimed her before she could form words, pulling her into darkness where she was safe from the overwhelming reality of belonging to 3 men who'd promised to consume her completely. Besties, are you ready for what happens next? Gloria thinks the wedding night was intense, but wait until you see what the triplets have planned for day 1 of their marriage. The games are just beginning and Gloria is about to learn that surrendering once is very different from surrendering every single day. Kindly tell us where you're enjoying this romantic love story from in the comments. Gloria woke to sunlight streaming through floor-to-ceiling windows and the unmistakable feeling of being watched. Her eyes fluttered open to find 3 pairs of dark eyes fixed on her with predatory intensity. Good morning, wife. Day's voice was warm honey over steel. Memory crashed over her like a wave. The wedding, the bedroom, 3 men claiming her body in ways that still made her face burn with shame and something else. She tried to sit up and gasped at the soreness between her thighs, in muscles she didn't know she had. Sore? Jay's smile was wicked and unapologetic. Good. You'll feel us all day. Every step, every movement, you'll remember exactly who you belong to. She pulled the silk sheet higher, suddenly aware she was completely naked. Where are my clothes? You won't need them. Tay said it so casually, like he was discussing something as mundane as the weather. Not today. Excuse me? She clutched the sheet tighter. I'm not staying naked all day. You are. Day's voice left no room for argument. Today is about learning, Gloria. Learning your place, learning our expectations, learning exactly what it means to be our wife. Fear prickled down her spine. What does that mean exactly? It means, Jay pulled the sheet from her grip, leaving her exposed and vulnerable, that you obey without question, without hesitation, without that defiant little spark in your eyes that makes us want to break you. I'm not a pet to be trained. No. Tay's fingers wrapped around her wrists, pulling her arms away when she tried to cover herself. You're our wife, which means so much more than a pet. It means you're ours to protect, to pleasure, to possess completely. Day stood, magnificent and fully dressed in a designer suit. Breakfast is ready. You'll eat with us. Like this? She gestured at her nakedness. Absolutely not. Gloria. His voice dropped to that dangerous tone that made her stomach clench. Don't make me repeat myself. I said no. She lifted her chin, channeling every ounce of courage she had left. You can't just expect me to parade around naked like some possession? Some prize? Jay leaned closer, his eyes glittering with challenge. That's exactly what you are, beautiful. Our most valuable possession, our greatest prize. I'm a person. Tears threatened, but she refused to let them fall. I have rights. I have dignity. You have us. Tay's interruption was soft, but absolute. And right now, that's all you need. They lifted her from the bed despite her protests, despite her struggling. Carried her through the mansion, down marble stairs, past servants who carefully averted their eyes, into a dining room where a feast waited on a table that could seat 20. They set her in a chair, the cool leather against her bare skin making her gasp. Day sat at the head of the table. Jay and Tay flanked her on either side, caging her in. Eat. Day gestured to the food spread before them. I'm not hungry. Eat anyway. His eyes narrowed. You need your strength for what comes later. Her stomach twisted with equal parts dread and anticipation. What comes later? Training. Jay's hand landed on her bare thigh, possessive and warm. You did well last night. Took us beautifully. But there's so much more to teach you. I don't want to learn anything else. What you want is irrelevant. Tay's fingers traced her spine, making her shiver. This marriage isn't about what you want, Gloria. It's about what we need. And we need you compliant, obedient, completely surrendered. I'll never surrender to you. The words came out stronger than she felt. Day's laugh was dark. You already have. Your body knows it, even if your mind is still fighting. Last night, you came apart for each of us. Screamed our names. Begged for more, even when you thought you couldn't take it. Heat flooded her face. That was just what? Jay's hand slid higher on her thigh, dangerously close to where she was still tender and sore. Just your body recognizing its masters? Just you learning what real pleasure feels like? Stop. She tried to push his hand away. He caught her wrist, his grip just tight enough to remind her of the strength difference between them. Never. His eyes burned into hers. We'll never stop, Gloria. Never stop touching you, claiming you, reminding you exactly who you belong to. A servant entered with fresh coffee, eyes carefully downcast. Gloria wanted to scream, to beg for help, but she knew it was useless. Everyone in this house belonged to the Huang brothers. She was utterly alone. Eat. Day repeated, his voice hardening. Or I'll feed you myself. And trust me, beautiful, you won't like my methods. She picked up a piece of fruit with trembling fingers, forcing it past the lump in her throat. It tasted like sawdust. Good girl. Tay's praise made something warm bloom in her chest despite everything. See how easy it is when you obey? They ate in silence, but their hands never stopped touching her. Stroking her thigh, her back, her shoulder. Gentle touches that reminded her constantly of her nakedness, her vulnerability, her complete dependence on their mercy. After breakfast, Day said casually, like discussing business, "We'll show you the playroom." Her fork clattered against her plate. Playroom? Where we keep our toys. Jay's smile was pure sin. Restraints, equipment, items designed to bring pleasure and pain in equal measure. No. She shook her head violently. Absolutely not. I didn't agree to that. You agreed to marry us. Tay reminded her. To submit to us. That includes all aspects of our desires. I was coerced. Her voice rose. You forced me into this marriage by threatening Marcus. Marcus is in prison. Day's interruption was brutal. Singing like a bird to avoid the death penalty, telling prosecutors everything about the Choi family's operations. He's trying to cut a deal by betraying everyone, including you. The words hit like physical blows. What? He gave them your medical records, your apartment key, your complete routine. Jay's voice was matter-of-fact. Told them the best times to grab you, the best ways to hurt you to get to us. Your loving fiancé was planning to let them torture you for information. You're lying. but she heard the doubt in her own voice. Tay pulled out his phone, showed her official police documents. Marcus's statement, detailed and damning. Pages of him discussing her like she was property. Describing intimate details of their relationship, planning her kidnapping and torture with clinical detachment. "Still think we're the monsters?" Day asked quietly. She couldn't answer. Couldn't process the betrayal cutting through her like knives. Marcus, who'd proposed with tears in his eyes, who'd promised to love her forever, had been selling her to monsters for money. "We would never betray you." Tay's voice was surprisingly gentle. "Never hurt you except in ways that bring pleasure. Never let anyone else touch what belongs to us." "You're still forcing me." But the fight was draining from her voice. "We're protecting you," Jay corrected. "The only way we know how. By making you ours so completely that no one would dare touch you. By putting our mark on you so deep that every enemy knows exactly what they'd face if they tried. This isn't protection. It's possession. It's both." Day stood, moving to crouch beside her chair. His hand cupped her face with surprising tenderness. "We own you, yes. But we also guard you with our lives. No one will ever hurt you again, Gloria. Not Marcus. Not the Choi family. Not anyone, because hurting you means going through us. And you're scarier than anything else out there." She said it flatly, understanding finally clicking into place. "Exactly." His smile was sharp. "We're the devils you know, the monsters you can predict. And in our world, that's the safest place to be." Tears finally fell, hot and bitter. "I hate this. I hate all of this." "We know." Tay wiped her tears gently. "But you'll learn to love it. Learn to crave the safety we provide, the pleasure we give, the absolute certainty of belonging to someone who will burn the world down before letting you go. Come." Jay stood, extending his hand. "Let us show you the playroom. Show you exactly what being ours means. Please." She looked up at 3 beautiful faces, 3 pairs of eyes that watched her with hunger and something that might have been affection. "Please, I'm not ready for this." "You'll never be ready." Day's honesty was brutal. "But we'll make you willing. Make you desperate. Make you beg for the very things that terrify you now." They lifted her again, ignoring her protests, carrying her deeper into the mansion, to a room with padded walls and equipment that made her blood run cold. Restraints hanging from the ceiling, a bed with straps at each corner, items she didn't have names for. "Welcome to your education, wife." Jay's voice was dark promise. "By the time we're done, you'll understand exactly what surrender means." Besties, are you excited for Gloria's education? Stay glued because what the triplets have planned will push every boundary she thought she had. Tell us in the comments section which triplet is your favorite so far. Day 3 is coming, and trust me, you won't want to miss what happens when Gloria finally stops fighting and starts feeling.